I thought, I, I thought it would be a good movie, you know, like, I, I like, I like the original, and I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I thought this was gonna be a good movie, and I was wrong. I was wrong. So wrong. I just thought it could be great. So, I'm sorry. So scared. So scared. But we did this review. We did it anyway. We did it. We did this review. Oh yeah. We did this review. It's coming. I'm sorry.
Blair Witch. Oh my god. This light is blinding. I didn't think this through, given that the whole, most of the movie is shot like this. So yeah, Blair Witch. About this film, so I was very excited to see this because the original Blair Witch I like a lot. It's arguably one of the films that, at least in American standards, put found footage films on the map. You know the type, the ones that are first person, shaky camera, shit's going on. People know Blair Witch, Cloverfield, Quarantine being taken from an original Spanish film called Wreck, another way that America likes to take foreign films and make it our own. I digress. This started off as a project called The Woods, oddly enough, that had very little snippets and it didn't really give away a whole lot, but it was like The Woods, fear, tension, coming out later this year. Then Comic-Con hit, and they revealed a new trailer for it that looked very oddly familiar, and lo and behold, surprise, it was a super secret marketing trick basically for Blair Witch 2. Not the other sequel that already exists, the really piece of shit one, but we have this one instead, which is supposed to literally take place right after the events of the first Blair Witch. Then I went to go see it in theaters, and now here we are. My review of Blair Witch, let's just say this. Because there have been mixed reviews. IGN gave it a 9. I don't know why. Don't go see it. Here's the thing about Blair Witch. Is it a direct sequel? Yeah. And that's about, I was going to say, was it shot well? Where do I begin with this? You know what? I gotta be fair. I gotta always start off with the pros in any situation like this. Of course, we have our first pro, which is the marketing for the film. Yeah, it was good. I loved the marketing because it was a surprise film in a similar style as how J.J. Abrams was producing and taking care of 10 Cloverfield Lane during Star Wars, and then there was like a surprise Cloverfield and coming out in 2-3 months and all that stuff. That's marketing done right. And you barely give away the movie, you just show a few scenes, and then you're like, yeah, it's coming out soon. It's good marketing. And on this, Blair Witch did that well. It was what it was advertised. It was a sequel to Blair Witch. Bravo, props, slow clap, whatever. The actors, actresses, actors, however you want to go about it saying it, in this film, did a good job with what they had. It was well acted? ? I didn't really have any problems with it. One of the cons that I'll address later is there was a lot of screaming, which I guess you would be screaming in this situation. But with some of the performances that were delivered in the film, I didn't really have any gripes with it, just in terms of what the actors were trying to do with what they had, so props to them for that. Now this one is a bit of a double-edged sword. It's a bit of a pro and a con. More lore and story about who the Blair Witch was and what happened to her and how she became known as the Blair Witch is revealed in this. Now, in the first film, shit's vague. It's like, who do you think the Blair Witch is? And the movie even starts out with some, grainy, documentary-style interviews with people. And it's like, who do you think the Blair Witch is? And just a bunch of mixed reports, and you're never quite sure what it is, what the danger is out there. They're just going out there to try to find something documented, and then get a little bit more than they bargained for. In this film, it's kind of like all of all theorists, all of us theorists, watched the first Blair Witch and then started studying online, and then that's the type of people that were in this film, because the main female protagonist, she's out there trying to do a documentary about all of the guy is looking for his sister, who is the girl that was the star in the first film. So years have passed, years and years, and he's obsessed with it. So of course he's been reading up on the lore. When they go meet this weird creepo Confederate racist kind of sort of guy out there, and they all go out into the woods, they're all spouting off their own versions of what they know and all that. And I personally didn't like that because it really took away from the ambiguity of it all, and it was just a mixture of heavy foreshadowing and just a lot of information. Like, some films will spoon feed you exposition, and this film, I felt like it was just being poured at you, like, oh, here's how we know what she did this, and then she did this with children, and she was accused of doing so and so they put her up on a tree, and then also they stretched her arms and legs. Like, it was just like, oh, and then they did this, and she is that, and this is that, and you should expect this, and you're all going to die tonight. Like, this is ridiculous. It was just a little too much information for my liking. Now, I will say, I did like how the film's star couple, for lack of what this romance could possibly be defined as, it's the female protagonist and the female and the male protagonists. And normally in a movie like this, they would really strongly emphasize the relationship they have, and in this, while there was a relationship, they didn't pound it into your head. If anything, there was a very cool scene I liked where literally shit's already hit the fan, people, they're freaking out, and he just stops her and is like, hey, hand on the face, that type of loving embrace you do with your lover or whatever. I wouldn't know. And it's like, hey, and just like literally takes a moment and be like, breathe in, breathe out, calm the fuck down. And I liked that because you never see that in a horror film. Everyone's always freaking out and being like, it's okay. But like for once, it was like, dude, calm down, and then we'll approach the situation. And it was like, yeah, that's all right. But now, like with any film that I review, we must break into the cons. This film had aplenty, unfortunately. So I already said too much information is given to my liking. Now, some people might like this and might think it expands upon the story. There's a difference between doing that and literally just telling you what you're going to see and what the plot's going to be. And that's kind of what they did here. It was just, like I said, it was just spouting off exposition in a forest, walking along a trail, and there was hardly any mystery to it. A lot of it was just shown, and like, until of course shit started going down, then there was just creaks and noises and like huge immense thuds and all that, which you can't really tell if it's just trees being knocked down by the Blair Witch or if it's the Blair Witch herself. You kind of know it's her regardless. So there's not really any mystery there. You don't wonder, wow, could the legend be real or is it just someone fucking with us? You know it's like, oh yeah, the witch is out there, she's gonna fuck shit up. And might I say, this film requires an immensely heavy suspension of disbelief. First of all, they try to, like a lot of found footage films nowadays, if it takes place either now or in the future, they'll try to incorporate a lot of present technology. Paranormal Activity does this ad nauseum with each film they do, like or Unfriended with Skype calls, how the whole thing took place on a desktop, which is kind of cool, but that's a different movie. In this film, it was like, oh yeah, well, we have GPS electronic tracking. No way that can go wrong. We got a compass. We got our Bluetooth cameras that fit on an earpiece. I don't know about you, but last time I tried to wear a Bluetooth headset, that thing will fall off if you so much as shake your head, and if you disagree with somebody too hard, those things will fall off. And in this movie, oh my god, it doesn't matter where they went, these suckers held on tight like it was like they were sentient. Once again, suspension of disbelief. And then they get like a drone camera, and then they even have a camera that like in the movie Scream, it has like a 20 to 30 second delay or whatever. They had good concepts. They could have done something really creepy with all of these, but no, they use them for jump scared cannon fodder. They send the drone up a couple times to look to see, like, get a bird's eye view over the trees, and nothing ever creepy happens with that. They crash the damn drone, and that's it. And then the 20-second delay and all that is used for a single bullshit jump scare. And that's it. All these things they could have done creative things with to make it all creepy, they completely wasted. And instead save all the creepy for just a bunch of first-person video camera. Here's a flashlight. Flashlight goes out. Knock it back on. Oh, what's going on? Flashlight goes off. Goes back on. Something mildly creepy. Big noise. Run away. And people die. And the character decisions that are made in this film are some of the fucking stupidest decisions ever. First of all, spoiler alert, and I don't even care about this one because I would recommend not seeing this film. Spoiler alert, black guy dies first. That's right. Whoa, hang on, stop the presses. We have our hard cliche right there. Good job. Slow clap. You did it, guys. you were able to automatically get at least one of the major horror film cliches into your film. Black guy dies first. How does he die first? Does he die fighting? Does he die saving somebody? No. This motherfucker is they're in the middle of the woods, right? And he's already like the sketchiest person, like I shouldn't say sketchiest. He's sketched out by the shit going on, and he's all nervous and shit. And he is going to collect firewood when it's like nighttime, and he walks off like probably 5 miles off by himself to get firewood and piss by himself. And what happens? He gets chased down by an unseen thing. He gets knocked, like a tree falls on him, and then presumably he gets just taken and fucking killed by the Blair Witch. And that's it. That's life and times of token black guy. And then, if that wasn't this most stupid thing, this one bitch that steps on something as they're crossing a river, and so much bullshit, it boggles my mind. She steps on something and hurts her foot, right? One of the guys there is an emergency responder paramedic. The protagonist, the male protagonist, is a paramedic who should know about how to accurately do stuff. And if he has a med kit, which you see, he has a little med kit bag on his sack, then he would have like sutures and sewing kits and all that. She cuts her foot open really badly, and they kind of just itsy bitsy tape it together, and then fine, and then it has a problem later on. That's one problem. Now we come to this bitch who's getting sick because apparently whatever was in the river is now some sort of like witchcraft thing the Blair Witch was put on her. So literally, like, something starts like moving in her foot, and then moves up her leg, and she ends up pulling out like a twig later, like a tree was growing in her leg, and what the fuck, and it's not even addressed. And then, the stupidest thing, after they crash the drone, and shit goes down, tents go flying, girl gets snapped in half, they all run away, because they're all freaking the fuck out, as you normally would, and of course, split up, obviously. She sees the drone in the tree, and she somehow has the smartphone that controls the drone, and she tries to get it, and she's like, ah, shit. And then instead of walking along, she decides it's a good idea to stop running away from whatever this thing is and spend literally like 3 minutes of screen time, if not more, climbing up a 20-foot tree with her fucked up foot to go all the way up to try to dislodge it, and surprise, surprise, she gets knocked down, falls, and dies. Like, what? Why did you think the drone would help? Were you trying to find your boyfriend, that black guy Peter? Because, no, he was dead too. And even then, like, what type of logic and just the decisions that some of these characters make is so unbelievably fucking stupid. At least in a movie like I previously reviewed, like Don't Breathe, it's more believable because all the ways they're trying to logically approach it, like how do we get out of here? We can't. And what choices do we make? What should we do? It made sense. Debated, if you will, but it made sense for the most part. In this film, it doesn't. It's ridiculous, and we know what's gonna happen. The best part about this film is when it breaks into that final act where it's found, of course, surprise, surprise, our two protagonists, and the rain's starting to come down heavily, and like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna die out here or whatever. And oh my god, the house we've been looking for the whole time, the house where my sister might be at. And he's like, I see a light in the window, it's gotta be my sister who totally isn't dead. And he just fucking books it inside. And then we have the first Blair Witch all over again. They're in the house, he's running through, it's a lot of like a hallway, corner, door, and then there'd be like and then he keeps seeing like a figure running through the hallways. It's like, I guess they use the image of like a ghostly dead sister or whatever, because it can't be the Blair Witch because we see what it is later. But he's just following the shadow, and it's just creepy, and then lights go off, and then like under the bed, nothing under the bed, door slams shut, and it's just a pointless corridor chase that just it's just meant to have you on the edge of your seat until the next door slams and you jump, and then bitch is alone outside, and of course then they do what debatably, you know what, I actually like it. Because in the first one, it was very vague and didn't show anything. But in this one, they show the Blair Witch. You see it. It's creepy. It's fucking gangly. And it's like, and like she's like looking outside like, oh my god. And then she hears the noises of it coming. And then she sees it. And if you look at it, it's supposed to like, you're dead. But apparently, and we figured this out like at the very last 2 minutes of the film, if it can't look at itself, but if you look at it through the camera, it's not directly looking at it. So then she runs inside and she's going up and down. And this big old pointless tunnel claustrophobic thing happens. It's really all just pointless. I don't know. It felt like I was just watching kind of mindless struggle for a hot minute. That's unfortunate, but it's what happened. And at the very end, brother's a fucking idiot And he's like, okay, if we just stay in the corner, we'll be safe until it leaves, okay? And then he's like, wait, sister, is that you? And then she fucking dies. And then she's like, oh my god. And she's like, I got a camera, I gotta see it. And then she holds it up and she sees it, and the thing runs away. And I'm like, oh shit, hang on. We cracked the code, we figured something out. It can't look at itself. She could walk out of there like that and maybe go somewhere with that. But no, and then she fucking hears his voice, even though he's obviously dead. And she turns and then gets killed in the end. Spoiler alert, that's what happens. But it was just so fucking stupid. This is coming from a guy that I wanted to go into this and like it. But honestly, it was predictable, and it wasn't scary. There were jump scares, and there were moments where I was like having fun with the film. We were making fun of it, and we were like getting creeped out and all that. But it just wasn't scary. I want a horror film, please. Anybody out there, Tarantino or fucking, I don't even care. Somebody, bring me more films that are actually horrific and deal with horror. Things that are not just, that won't just gross you out. Things that won't just make you jump scare, but things that could legitimately scare you. For its time, when Jaws came out, that was terrifying. People didn't want to go swimming. When Exorcist came out, that was creepy demon shit. That was well directed for its time. There's still some horror movies that come out occasionally. Even the newer the reboot of Evil Dead was scarier than this, because there was some scary shit that happened. Like this film was advertised as like, this will bring back horror and this is true fear, and it wasn't. It was a bunch of characters that made stupid decisions and got killed because of it. And that's why I have to, taking the pros and the cons, was this a terrible film? I've seen worse. There have been worse that I've seen. Ghostbusters, the new one. I keep bragging on that. But for this film, I would give it just a solid 4 out of 10. It below average, even for a horror film. If I saw this on Netflix, if this came out as a Netflix original, that would make more sense, and then it would be good. But the way that it was advertised, from the marketing to how it was big, Lionsgate, Blair Witch 2, like the sequel we've all been waiting for, it will bring back horror, and this and that, and promises, and they feel also wasted on myself. And it's just my humble opinion, or lack thereof. But yeah, 4 out of 10. Don't go see it in theaters. Unless you are a die-hard fan of Blair Witch or IGN, and you just fucking, no matter what it is, you're just gonna sit there and just suck this movie's dick. Then by all means, go and see it. I won't blame you. You can do your own thing. But in the meantime, I would say don't go check it out. Wait maybe for it to rent and get your own opinion. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. This 17 minutes, jeez. I usually try to keep these things short, but when I get on a tangent, I guess I can't help it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. That's my review of the new Blair Witch Unofficial 2, whatever. The Blair Witch sequel. Whatever you guys thought about it, feel free to comment below, agree, disagree, whatever. Comment other videos or reviews you want me to do, and I'll just stay tuned for the next episode of whatever I make, or whatever movie review I do. So, goodbye, travelers.